All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Boogie Down Bronx, Queens, or Staten Island, my homeboro Brooklyn. Back at another video to give you another entry to the Greatest of All Time series. This one on Mr. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., aka Lil Wayne. Tonchi, Weezy F, baby. Isn't that how they talk down in New Orleans, baby? What's good, baby? Lil Wayne, okay? Lil Wayne definitely, I mean, he's one of the all-time greats up there. He has to be in the top 10. I don't. He has to be in the top 10. His influence, his impact on the game. Wayne has changed the rap game and his image. All these dudes out here, every last one of these dudes are Lil Wayne mini-me's. Every artist that's came after 2010 is basically a new artist, young artist that came after 2010 is basically a Lil Wayne mini-me. Okay? These niggas got Lils. Okay, you got Lil Xan, Lil Pump, Lil Peep, Lil this, Lil that. Kodak Black was going by Lil Kodak before. All these dudes. Face tats, dreadlocks, that kind of slurred rap style, that kind of slurred speech impediment. Even that shit, it all comes from Wayne. It all comes from him. He started this all, but let's start with him. Of course, Wayne's from Holly Grove, New Orleans. Holly Grove, I was the deep, deep, dirty South. Raised by his mother. Got signed to Cash Money at what, like 12 years old? Dude was rapping at or 11, 12 years old, which shows that he's an intelligent individual. I mean, to be writing raps as a kid and rapping, spin like that at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, you have to be very intelligent. Degree. So Wayne ain't no dummy. Here he is as a young kid, and we saw him in that last picture. Here he is about the Carter series. The Carter series to me, just to me, is probably the greatest series in the history of hip hop. The greatest series, Every last one of these projects, I know some are, you can say, oh, this one didn't have this one that. To me, they're all special in their own way. Okay, Carter 2, Wayne was hungry, out to prove he was the best rapper alive, because, I'm going to get to that in a minute. I was just cornrow, bandana, mustache Wayne, late 90s, early 2000s Wayne, when he was with the Hot Boys. Obviously, you hear him in Brian Williams, a.k.a. Baby, a.k.a. Birdman, before the face tats, him and Wayne. And here he is with young Ray Janae Carter. Here's the Hot Boys, Juvie, BG, Turk, and him. The Hot Boys were a fire, man. Even to this day, I mean, you listen to this shit, they shit is nice, okay? That New Orleans style, what they did, they took the bounce music, which is what New Orleans hip-hop is known for, bounce music, and made it like gangsta. Like, bounce music, if you listen to it, is like party, twerk music. Like, twerk culture, strip club culture comes from New Orleans, even though a lot of people like to give credit to Atlanta. But I've already done videos on Atlanta. But anyway, yeah, twerking. So most bounce music is what you would call party music. But Cash Money, I was gonna say Young Money. Cash Money made it to gangsta music as well. Master P and them and No Limit, they kind of had their own sound, their own style. Okay, nothing against P and No Limit. I have to do a video on them. But obviously, here they are in their neighborhood with Manny Fresh. Fresh. Here they are with Slim. So yeah, Wayne Guy started the Hot Boys. And then, of course, he was also on Juvenile's legendary song, Back That Ass Up, which blew up Juvenile, blew up Cash Money, and put bounce music on the map for New Orleans. Of course, he has a guest verse from Manny Fresh. And of course, a little end. Wayne originally wrote a verse for it, but they cut it out for whatever reason. So at the end, all you see is, after you back it up, then stop. Well, what, drop it like it's hot, which, of course, Snoop later made into a song years later. Here's Juvenile's legendary album, 400 Degrees, which, by the way, and I don't know if it still is today, but 400 Degrees is the highest selling album at Cash Money. I don't know if it is still today, but I'm pretty sure it is. Like that, Juvenile was a great rapper in his own right. But this is about Wayne. And obviously, Wayne went on to release his solo debut, The Block Is Hot. It had a song on that track, Keisha. The project, it was all right. It was okay. If I had to rate it, I give it a rate on a scale of mics, like the Source. Source does 5 mics. If I had to rate it, I give it, honestly, maybe about a 3. Maybe close to 2.8, but, about 2.83 mics, It was okay. It was an okay project. Here's Wayne's 500 Degrees album, which Juvie took as a diss, because Juvie, obviously, we saw he has a 400 Degrees album. Wayne has 500 Degrees. And this is his second album, Lights Out. Yeah, this is the Carter. This is the thing this is where the Lil Wayne we know today. This is where he really started. The Carter was released. It was okay commercially, critically, but it still wasn't the Wayne we know today. So this started the drive, the hunger, the dedication for him to become Lil Wayne we know today. The mixtape, the mixtape game. Lil Wayne, G Unit, and Dipset, and also the Memphis rap scene, low key. They changed the mixtape game. Okay, it all started in Memphis when DJ Paul, Juicy J, DJ Spanish Fly, and DJ Squeaky, mixtapes were before. It was a compilation of your favorite songs from like the Jackson 5 or Prince or whomever. What the Memphis DJs did was they put their own music on the mixtapes, and then G Unit, Dipset, G Unit, Dipset, and Wayne did was, back then you had to beg a DJ to put you on your mixtape. These dudes just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna make our own shit." And Wayne took another step further by making it commercially successful. The Dedication series, which also is probably the greatest mixtape series in hip hop. Curious, but anyway, and that leads us to the Carter 2. This was released in 2005. New York hip hop had fallen. 50 Cent was still the king, but it fallen. Jay-Z had quote unquote retired. Outkast wasn't what it was, and all those other dudes from the late 90s, like Nas, was starting to get older. DMX had, we all know his problems. Eminem went to rehab. All the stars from the late 90s, early 2000s had kind of fallen off or disappeared in one way or another. Wayne declared himself the best rapper alive, and he backed it up with the Carter 2. A lot of people say this is Wayne's best project. This is his best album. To me, this is his second best album. Okay, it was commercially successful, critically successful, and of course, one bar that sticks out to me on this project was on the song "Shooter" featuring Robin Thicke. Wayne rapped, "I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of being patient. Stop being rapper racist, you region haters, you spectators, dictators, behind door dictators. It's outrageous." Which, of course, is a shot at New York and New York DJs like Flex. In this end, yeah. But anyway, that leads us to the Carter 3, which is his magnum opus, his best project to me. Commercial success, critical success, Lollipop, Mr. Carter, Dr. Carter, Millie. All types of bangers on this joint. Not one flaw. Okay, there's not one flaw on this album. To me, great production, great bars, great originality. Every song was different, like a different story. Good morning, Dr. Carter. Of course, Mrs. Officer. Like, people are still banging these joints to this day. You can put one of these songs like Mrs. Officer and Amelie or whatever on in the club, and people are going to still be banging to it. Like, this is an instant classic. I know other people may disagree, but to me, instant classic. Okay, and that leads us to the Carter 4. This is the deluxe edition. Deluxe edition is now becoming a big thing. It really started with Wayne, but now it's a big thing. Because this had the song 6 Foot, 7 Foot. This was released in 2010. And this is where, like, as you see, Wayne started tatting himself up a lot, on his face, his neck, and all over his body and shit. The dreads, he started letting his dreads go longer. This is Tunechi era Wayne. There are three different Waynes. There's Hot Boy Wayne, there's Wheezy Wayne, Tunechi Wayne, and now this OG Wayne, one with the receding hairline. And this is the Carter 5, the long-awaited Carter 5 album. Had the song Don't Cry featuring at the time, recently deceased rapper XXXTentacion. XXXTentacion, Don't Cry. And the song Mona Lisa with Kendrick Lamar. And then he had a song where he sampled 2 Chainz. If it wasn't for Wayne, it wouldn't be done. You chatted your face and changed the culture. That joint. Of course, that was Young Wayne and his mother. And of course, going back in time, this is the I'm Not a Human Being album, one of my favorite albums he'd released. This is in my top 7 favorite albums. If I had to rank them, my favorite Wayne albums, Wayne projects, the Carter 3 is 1, the Carter 2 is 2. I put the Carter 4 3, and this is probably in that range, somewhere 4 or 5 range. I'm Not a Human Being. This I'm Not a Human Being 2, and I'm Not a Human Being 3 is soon to be released, I think, this year. And this is his recent album, The Funeral, which of course released last year around the time of Kobe Bryant's death. So there's a 24-second, delay in the album to pay tribute to Kobe. Of course, Wayne did a song called Kobe Bryant a long time ago, in 2009, right before Kobe and the Lakers defeated the Orlando Magic in 5 to win the finals. And then he recently re-released it in honor of his death and remixed the song. Obviously, here's a shot taken from his legendary music video, Amelie. A milli, a milli, a milli, a milli, a milli. I remember I used to hear that shit all the time. You grew up back in the 2000s. You remember hearing that shit on the radio all the time. This is, of course, a shot taken from the Lollipop. Here's his dedication series. His tattoo, Fear God. You know, look, what Lil Wayne believes in God. Now that's debatable. That's debatable. But that's the dedication series is the greatest mixtape series in hip hop ever to me. The Carter is definitely the greatest series of albums in history, in my view, my opinion. So Wayne's got classics, classic songs, classic albums, and hell, classic mixtapes. He's got a bunch of mini-me's, a bunch of clones running around. Here's The Drought 3, another great mixtape series by Wayne's, The Drought series. Go check it out. And that T-Wayne mixtape he did with T-Pain a couple years back. And No Ceilings. Okay, so he's got classics, checked. Okay, people you influence, check. Look, you see Drake and Nicki Minaj, the two biggest rap acts of the last 10 years, female and male. Then Drake and Nicki Minaj, and both of them were co-signed by Lil Wayne. Because they first appeared, I first heard about them on the song Bedrock on the Young Money album, We Are Young Money. You know, my room is the G-spot, call me Mr. Flintstone, I can make your bed rock. That's the first time I heard of these two, and then of course they went on to release classic albums of their own. I did a greatest of all time on Drake. You can go check it out and put the link in the description down below. And I might do one on Nicki being the greatest female rapper of all time. Okay, but they were both co-signed by Tunchi. Now see, here's a picture I've used before. Okay, now here's 2 Chainz. Now 2 Chainz has been in the rap game for decades, like 20 years. He was originally signed to DTP, Disturbing the Peace, which of course is Ludacris' rap label. But that was back when he was Titty Boy. The 2 Chainz we know today, of course, he's a talented rapper in his own right. But this 2 Chainz we see right today was influenced by Wayne. You can tell. That's why 2 Chainz, even though 2 Chainz is older, that's why Chainz paid tribute to him. Okay, and here's Future, who's another one of Lil Wayne's sons. Okay, nothing against Future. Of course, they're a year apart, but of course, Wayne been in the game for years. Future blew up in like 2011 with the song Tony Montana. I'm about to cop the Porsche. Tony Montana. Stupid ass. Future was high as hell, won't he? And obviously, here's another picture I used before. Probably the biggest Lil Wayne clone, Young Thug, you know. I already did a video on that. It's kind of the first video on my channel that blew up called Never Be A Fanboy. Obviously, these two, I've been over the Mr. Incredible Syndrome dynamic. I'm going to put that link in the description down below. But, yeah, enough said about that too. Here he is with Eminem, you know. Lil Wayne, like I said, Lil Wayne and Kanye West was a joint monarchy throughout from like 04, 05 to about 2010, 2011. Then the industry kind of pushed them aside. You know, Wayne got locked up. Kanye went through his troubles and made way for Drake and Kendrick in that generation that dominated the 2010s. But I say all that to say this. Back then, 2010, Eminem released his album Recovery. He released his album 09, Relapse, which was an okay album. You know, people kind of trash it hard. It wasn't that bad. It was a great album. But Recovery, bounced back Eminem commercial success. You know, he had the song Not Afraid and Love the Way You Lie, and the song No Love, No Mercy with Wayne. Now, these two were fire together back then. Back 10, 11 years ago, these two were hot, man. 12 years ago. Shit, I thought they should have done a mixtape together back then. It's too late now. Em's old. Wayne's old. You know, it just wouldn't have the fire on it. But if they done it back then, they were firing that song with Drake and Kanye forever. So I'm surprised they didn't do nothing. And obviously, here's OG Wayne at the Packers game recently. You know, he released a song, Green and Yellow, you know, hype up the Packers fans, which, of course, is another remix of a song he did 11, 12 years ago. Back when the Packers won the Super Bowl faced the Pittsburgh Steelers, he remixed Wiz Khalifa's breakout song, Black and Yellow, and called it Green and Yellow, you know. And the Packers, of course, in the NFC Championship game. Here he is again. So, what do y'all think, man? Lil Wayne has classic albums. He's been around for 20 plus years, releasing classic shit. He's influenced a number of artists that came after him. You know, he helped put New Orleans on the rap map. Him, Young Money, Cash Money, No Limit. They all helped put New Orleans on the map, and it's all spearheaded by Wayne. Wayne is definitely, Wayne's definitely arguably the greatest rapper of all time, and he's probably the greatest rapper come out the South. Him and 3 Stacks. It's him and 3 Stacks, and honestly, it's not even close between the third. You know, whoever you say it is, Pimp C or Uncle Luke, whoever you think is third. Okay, even Big Boy, like these two on a high enough level. Wayne's definitely the best. Okay, so what do y'all think? Y'all like this video? Click that like button, subscribe for you and where to go on YouTube. Comment down below who do you want to see next in the Greatest of All Time series. I'm definitely going to do a Greatest of All Time on Cash Money Records. And what I mean by that is this: Cash Money being the greatest record label of all time. And I'll get into my criteria for that for when I get to that video, all right? See y'all.